What's up, NBA fans? What's up, all sports fans? What's up, NBA fans? What's up, all sports fans? What's up, NBA fans? What's up, all sports fans? Welcome to Behind the Bench, the show, the channel, and the podcast. This is your host, JB, right here. And I just wanted to take time to give props and show appreciation and give mad respect to the newly crowned NBA champion, Denver Nuggets, who have won the championship for the 22-23 NBA campaign. And I must say, man, I got so excited about, these finals, man, between the Denver Nuggets and a tough, gritty Miami Heat team that pushed Denver to go all out last night and to seal victory and to win that championship on their home floor in 5 games, because Miami was pressing them to do so and was trying to force a game 6. And basically, Denver Nuggets, they played Miami Heat style basketball to win that game. And they really won it in the end on defense and not offense. And when you look at that Denver Nuggets team, it's a testimony to patience, perseverance, and player development. And that's what teams are reverting back to. And that's what's going to generate success for this decade. And it points to the obvious that has been apparent for the past 4 years, and that is the super team era is finally over. And I'm thrilled, man. I'm relieved. I'm elated. I'm excited. And I'm just so exuberant about it because we get to see real competition. Those two teams in these finals, the Denver Nuggets and Miami Heat, they went all out and they competed hard, man. And after that series ended last night, both teams congratulated each other and acknowledged, one another as worthy competitors. And in a situation like that, you have to give respect to the victor as well as to the team, who fell short, But the one thing that they held up at the highest premium was competition. And that's what made the NBA great. And that's what the NBA lost, over these past 10 years or so during the super team era. And more people tune in and watch these finals. And as this decade progresses throughout the 2020s, as we revert back to real NBA basketball, real team building, more fans will return back that has been accustomed to watching real competition prior to this era of superstars joining forces took place and kicked off in 2010. But I'm not going to, delve into the origin of, what started in 2010 and what came of it. But the fact that we are now approaching the end of that era, and a team like Denver, as well as a team like Golden State last year, who rebuilt through the draft, bringing in young talent, making a key move and trading for a young Andrew Wiggins, who helped them win that championship last year versus Boston. And then 2 years ago, Giannis Antetokounmpo led the Milwaukee Bucks to the championship for the first time in 50 years since Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and 2019, the Toronto Raptors won the championship for the first time in their franchise history. So we're seeing a lot of good marks that's actually being spearheaded by small market teams. And I would hope that a lot of these staple franchises that's playing in these large cities, they take note and learn from these small market teams. And with this new CBA that's about to hit next year, the CBA has implemented protocols and provisions that will practically eliminate the super team for good. But you got to give kudos to Nikola Jokic, who been holding down the fort for the 2 previous seasons when he won back-to-back league MVPs and was leading the Denver Nuggets to the playoffs those 2 years while missing his second and third best player, Jamal Murray and Michael Porter, due to injury, but he was still leading them to the playoffs. And that's what solidified his MVP consideration and eventual nomination and eventual award winner of that category in the NBA. And it's awesome what he achieved. And to me, there's no doubt that, not only is he the best center in basketball, but when you win a finals MVP and you average 30 points a game for the series and average, double figures in rebounds, like 13 rebounds per game, and then you're practically percentage points from averaging double figures in assists. So that means that man during the average of triple-double in the finals playing the center position while averaging 30 points a game doing it and shooting over 40% from three and over 80% from the free throw line. So to me, when you win the finals MVP and you lead your team to the championship, you should be viewed by season's end as the game's best player. So that's how I'm going to view Nikola Jokic going into next year. And it's a testimony to, this is a player who was drafted in the second round. So when you got fans out there that say draft picks don't matter, I would ask to reconsider that thought, because with this new CBA that's about to hit, drafting will be of the highest importance. It will not be free agency. It's going to be drafting, player development, and acquiring draft picks to facilitate appropriate trades to improve your team, especially when you feel that you're one piece away from vying for the championship. And that's exactly what the Denver Nuggets did over these past couple of years. They built their team up to the point where they became contenders. And then to take that next step with the internal improvement of Nikola Jokic, the return of Jamal Murray, the continued growth of a Michael Porter Jr., and then drafting a rookie this season in Christian Braun, who played huge in that game 3 that helped Denver take that 2-1 series lead in Miami. Well, drafting is your primary foundation for team success. And then 2 years ago, they made a key trade in acquiring Aaron Gordon, who was a huge contributor to their championship run, and then making another key trade in acquiring Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to elevate and improve that perimeter defense and his steady play, giving you about 10 to 12 points a game. And he made 2 key defensive stops during the end stretch of that game in that fourth quarter, going down the stretch, I should say, to help seal that deal and to win the Nuggets' first championship in franchise history. So I believe the NBA is in a good place. Denver is a testament to all the things that I previously mentioned. Drafting, patience is the primary key. Understanding that, especially in this one and done era, and as drafting international players, that it's going to take about 4 years before you start seeing that team ascend and those players reach maturity and start to elevate themselves. And that's exactly what happened in the cases of Nikola Jokic, the Joker, who has all he could play any hand you want. Full house, straight flush, whatever you want to call it. He got all the cards in his hand. And he plays them cards at the right opportune time. And before you know it, he's giving you 30, 20, and 10 in the NBA Finals game. And Jamal Murray was huge. I consider him a superstar player. And the only thing that held him back, tell you the truth, if Denver had been healthy over these past 2 years, they probably would be playing in at least a second finals in the past 3 years. But fortunately he recovered from that ACL. That's a very serious injury, and it takes about, from what I've learned, from what people have said, players who have suffered that same injury, it takes about 2 years to fully recover. And I'm happy for the city of Denver, man. They deserve that championship, and I know they're gonna enjoy it. And they prime at this stage of their team where they stand at now in the NBA, and their players are like in their mid-20s. Jokic's case, he's like 28 years old. Jamal Murray like 25, 26, 12, 26. Porter's like 24. Aaron Gordon's like 28. Caldwell Pope was about like 30, 31. So they they gonna they gonna return back next year, and they can continue to fortify their roster, make tweaks here or there, and you get a player like DeAndre Jordan and Thomas Bryant who experienced championship celebration. Along with Reggie Jackson, who formerly played with the Clippers, Thomas Bryant, who formerly played with the Lakers. You know what I mean? So I just think it's a great thing, man. Like I said, kudos to the Miami Heat, considering, how they was viewed during the regular season and the teams that they beat in the Eastern Conference, the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round, the New York Knicks in the second round, and the Boston Celtics in the conference finals to advance to the finals. It's a testament to what they're about, and how they are always ready to compete, and that's what the NBA needs, man. The NBA needs to move on from the super team era. The super team has been a detriment. It just shows you don't need a super team to win a championship anyway. You never did. It's all been a misnomer. But like I said, man, I'm not going to delve off into that. But at the end of the day, I want to give kudos to the Denver Nuggets, man. I just love it, man. As an NBA fan, man, regardless of who my favorite team is right now, I don't want to mention that in this piece, but I respect it, man, because it just shows that you can build your team the right way, and step by step, year by year, you will elevate yourself in due time, especially, when you got a player like Jokic, man, who's going to, give his all and demand that his teammates play at the highest level at the, and representing that franchise as a center, a position that's been, devalued over the past 10 years or so. So now we got to return the big man. And if you notice in this series, neither team scored 120 points. I think Miami may have scored the most points in the game, in game 2 when they beat Miami. I think it was like 111, 108, But outside of that, man, we talking about, mainly, especially last night, I think the score was like 90, 94, 89. So it took you back to like, 90s, 2000s basketball where both teams played great defense. They ran the shooters off that 3-point line, and you had to make a play. You see what I'm saying? To score, So I believe with the Denver Nuggets and the way they built their team, man, other team, it's going to make the center position of highest esteem again. I believe basketball is at its best when that center position is most prominent. So teams are going to, I believe teams will, stop focusing on shooting so many 3-point shots and balance their attack, because really, for the most part, Denver attempted, anywhere between 26 to 28 3-point shots on average, which I think that's a good number. Instead of, shooting 40, 45 threes, where if you miss most of your threes, I mean, you're not going to win. So when you got balanced attack, great center play, good front court play, great guard play, along with, great perimeter play, it produces a champion. And that's what the Denver Nuggets did last night, man. And like I said, man, kudos, man. And I think it's only going to get better next year. Other teams, going to be right there in the mix. Denver is not going to fall off. They prime, and now they didn't got to taste of championship success. And I just think they're going to, with the way their head coach spoke last night, Mike Malone, kudos to Mike Malone. He's been there, during the whole time since Jokic has been drafted to the Denver Nuggets. And he's been there 8 years. He's one of the longest tenured coaches in the NBA. So it pays, man, to be patient, develop, understand that it is an ongoing effort, that you can't shortcut your way. And if you built that type of team and brought in the right type of players to anchor your star player, you can win a championship. Especially when your superstar, rises to the highest occasion and play at the highest level. And that's what Nikola Jokic did. So I view him clearly as the game's best center, and he finishes the season as the game's best player. And that's what it's all about. So I just want to drop in, man. Like I say, I think it's wonderful, man, what's going on, man. And the way the NBA is moving forward, I don't think, especially with the end of the super team era, I don't think we're going to see teams go to 3-4 finals in a row. I think it's going to be a year-to-year thing to see if, I'm not trying to get ahead of myself because, like I said, I want to really, enjoy what Denver achieved this year. But, teams are going to develop the same way, and particularly in their Western Conference. And I just think it's going to be a thing, man. We just going to have to, it's no shoe-ins. It's no shoe-ins until you win the championship. That's what I'm trying to say. So I just want to drop that real quick. And like I said, it concludes a great season, man. Great playoff. And the greatest thing out of this is you can win a championship by building a team the right way. You don't have to stack the deck. Superstars don't have to join forces to win. Shortcuts will not work in this decade. And this new CBA will see to it, and it's going to reward teams for building the right way, and it will hinder teams that's trying to take their shortcut. So that's what Denver Nuggets symbolized to me by winning this year's championship. So this has been JB, and thank you for tuning to Behind the Bench, and I will holler later.